Oh, look at Zero. Look at you, big boy. You're so cute. Yes, you is. Yes, you is. My goodness. Oops. Oops. Nice. She got a pretty decent side picture. Cool, cool. Oh. Don't want that falling in the water. That would be bad. Okay, cool. There we go. There we go. Looks a little better. Oh, hey. Oh goodness. Blop. Ba-da-bum, blum. Bum-bum. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Alright, get this first bowl of the day loaded up. And all that fun shit. Sorry, I think my morning voice has a little bit of an NPR aesthetic to it. Oh, this is Ignore on your morning show on NPR. Oh my god. Okay, that actually does sound a little too good. A little too good. Here on NPR today, we will have our special guest. my god. Early stream. Yep. Kind of doing a little bit of a wake and bake and all that stuff before work stream. Yeah. You know what's funny? I actually don't know if I'm supposed to go work at 2 or 3 today. I don't know, so I decided to do this like before 1 o'clock so I can at least have like an hour of chilling out a little bit. But honestly, like, realistically, they're not going to give a fuck if I'm 30 minutes late. If I was supposed to be at 2 instead of 3 or some shit, it doesn't fucking matter. It's not that big a deal. Well, kind of. Like, we got new management at the store now, so I definitely want to kind of, like, you know, be like, hey, good word for me. You know, be like, yeah, you like me. At least enough to get the shit that I want. You know, then it at least give me incentive to stick around a little longer and see how this management is. And if honestly they are any improvement from the previous ones, it's gonna be better. So, hopefully, here's hoping. Though I found out that our old ones moved to different stores, so some poor bastards somewhere else are gonna have to deal with them now, which I feel bad. I was kind of hoping that they would just like either go somewhere else, like not doing store management, or like doing some other shit instead. But no, some other poor bastards gotta deal with them. I mean, if anything, like the second store manager wasn't really too bad. It was just the first one, because whatever bullshit that he had would go down. Just trickle down and shit. Yeah, but at least the second store manager, she wasn't really as bad, but she had her times of being kind of ornery and bitchy. Over 100 plus games for just $15 a month. Do you see why I like it? I haven't been doing that in a while, just because I haven't been playing on my Xbox in a long time. But yeah, I mean, essentially, hey, no, it's like when they had the silver and like the Xbox Gold Pass and shit like that. Back when they had that stuff, like of gold and silver and all that. Like that's essentially what the Xbox Gold was. But now they honestly made it a lot better deal by just making it a Game Pass. Now they throw in EA's Play for Free. That's why I like it. Because honestly, instead of buying EA games, I just download them for free. And the best thing is, it's not pirating them. Well, I guess that isn't necessarily the best thing about it, but they legally can't do anything about that. So if you're like, oh, let me pirate this game. It's like a lot of days games have like little keys and shit like that you have to use in order to actually like unlock the actual game so you can't pirate it. I mean, so if anything, like a lot of cases, this is actually even better. Just because it already kind of comes with it in itself. Like already pre-installed with the key. Been playing Cuphead these last few days, and if you was basically cartoon 2D Dark Souls. I kind of figured. I've seen gameplay of it. I mean, honestly, what really feels like a little bit of a Dark Souls is it's Kenshi right now, dude. I'm stuck at like where the anti-slavers are in the game, and because of how I started my fucking character in the beginning, they don't like me. So I traveled all the way to where these motherfuckers are at for them to just immediately attack me. So I had to restart my save from when I just entered the town and basically have to just sell my shit and then just like leave. Because there's just, I can't like actually interact with the dudes I actually want to. So it's like, fuck. And I found out why. It's because when I started my character, I started up with a wandering trader, which is already friendly with the Traders Guild, which the anti-slavers hate. Wish I knew that. God damn it, man. Started at first, and once you get your bearings, it becomes easier. Are you sure about that? It was until I got into this place, and now it's hard again because I have to get the fuck out. And there's, I don't know if you know what they are, but they're like land bats. They're like these, like, little weird albino looking creature things, and they're hard to kill, and they can kill you easily. So like they will fuck your shit up, and they're hard to fuck up. And it's like every time I turn a corner or like anywhere I go, there's always like a fucking swarm of like 30 of them in a pack. I'm not kidding, like up to like 20 or 30. It's like, what the hell? It's like, what happened to like the small band of like 4 to like 8 wildlife? Like, why is there like 30 of them like all bunched in like a super pack? And then they all start, and then they notice you from like so far fucking away, and they start like charging you from across a valley, and it's just like, and they're way faster than you, so it's just like, if they see you, you're just fucked. You might as well just restart your save if you don't have any good equipment to fucking fight them, which I don't. Like, I can fight other wildlife, like I've gotten to the point where I can actually manage like beak things and shit like that, but even then, like I only handle them one at a time. And then, you know, so then I deal with this shit, and it's like, motherfucker. So now I have to find my way out of this fucking area that I'm in that is literally swarmed with these fucking things. And then fucking and try to get to Flats Lagoon, which I happen to be nearby, and the wildlife there is nowhere near as deadly. They have land bats and things like that still in the Flats Lagoon area, which is a neighboring region, but it's fucking so much safer. And also it's full of like stoner hemp growing people where you can actually like kind of set up like a little drug farm if you want, because it's viable to grow it there. So so if anything, I'm at least near a spot to where I want to kind of start building a base like I was initially planning. So as long as I can get out of the area that I'm in, I should be okay. I mean, I have like 8 people with me, well, a pack bull and like 7 other people in my crew. So it's like, you know, if I can at least, you know, get out of the area with all of them all right, I should be able to at least have a decent start, because all of them have all sorts of gear, all sorts of shit that I can loot off and sell, which, because I don't have any store anywhere to trade off all the shit, they're also encumbered, so they can't run as fast. It's like, there's all sorts. I'm just in a pickle. I'm in a Kenshi pickle. Remember, serves, there are mods that lets you start as a badass swordsman, crossbowman. There's a way where you can start as like a son of an officer of the United Cities, and you get a pretty badass sword because of that, from what I understand. I haven't started a game that way, but it's basically the lone wanderer, but you get a badass sword, and you are more allied with the United Cities, and they will be allied with you, you know, at the very start. So it makes it at least basically the lone wanderer, but you're allied with a faction already. But knowing the United Cities, fuck them, because they're literally just a bunch of, like, feudalistic slavers. Like, they're pro-slave and feudalists, so fuck them. I have a fallout mount that adds guns to Kenshi that makes it ridiculously easy at first, as long as you stay away from the spider monsters in the ruins. Oh, I hate those things. I only saw one of those things once, and I've never seen them again. Fuck those things. Whatever territory they happen to be, I'm avoiding it. Fuck those spider monsters, dude. Like, I went into this one area thinking, alright, it doesn't look too bad. There's nothing, you know, there's no, you know, like, skeletons, wildlife, or humans that can fuck with me. And all of a sudden, I see those little, like, spider monsters, because I didn't know what they were yet. I see, like, 5 of them all of a sudden just, like, when they're still not doing anything, just being dormant. Just within, like, seconds, like, across the valley, just swarm me. And I'm just like... What are these? And then I see how quick they kill me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back to my last autosave and turn around. Because that was just fucked. There's just some moments in Kenshi where you're like, I think I could do this. Oh, my entire party died. Well, time to go back to the last save. It's like, oops. I mean, in Kenshi, it's definitely a good idea to save a lot. Just because of random shit like that. You think, oh, this would be a good idea. Oh, look, half of my party died and the rest of them are crippled and have no limbs. It's like shit. I like to explore the ruins, because you can usually find good loot, but the spiders are incredibly annoying. Yeah. That's what I've heard. Like, that's why I went in there in the first place, because I heard there's really badass loot there that you can sell for a good price and shit. But nah, I think I'll just literally just try to find beak thing nests and just sell the eggs, because those are fucking worth a nice penny. Because I've actually found like some beak thing nests and without any beak things in them. And I've just picked up all sorts of different eggs and shit. It's actually the reason why I can't carry anything anymore, is because I have all these eggs I've been meaning to sell. So I have, like, without the cats, I basically have a lot of cats now. I just need to sell the shit so I can actually have it. So I'm just, like, in a pickle where I actually am off at a pretty decent spot, but I'm in, like, the worst area possible. It's Sobeys Gamble. It's, like, where all the mountains are and shit, like, east of Flats Lagoon. And also, there's like a hiver nest right next to this area. So, like, on one attempt to get out of there, I stumbled upon the edge of their nest, and all these hivers started swarming the shit out of me and killing me. And hivers are significantly faster than skeletons or humans, so there's another level where you're just fucked. I mean, I'm just, like, literally in a spot where literally all sides there's, like, enemies. Wildlife, hivers, bandits. And the bandits that are in the area are skeleton bandits, and they are very well equipped and very well trained in comparison to your typical like dust bandits or starving bandits and shit. So if I stumble upon them, I'm also fucked. So if anything, I'm just like at least where I'm at so far. I'm I've left the town spring where the anti-slaves were at. I'm like in the middle of the valley a little bit, and I'm actually just past like this battlefield of land bats and skeleton bandits, and took whatever I could out of them. So the next place I go, I could just sell all this shit and start building a base. I like to follow city patrol around and watch them fight bandits and run and loot into the bandits and fallen guards. Be careful with the fallen guards, because if the guards see you do that, they will fuck with you. I've learned that with one of my first gameplays. So, if you find any fallen guards, make sure they're in, like, recovery comas and not being picked up by their fellow guards. Or the guards are just so heavily distracted with fighting and far enough away to where you can just do that. Don't sell the loot of those guards in the same town, though, either. Sell that to, like, a fencer in another town. Or better yet, definitely another faction. Because there's some shit that I have taken from some markets in the United Cities, and I would try to sell them into another United City town, and the chances of me actually successfully selling that to them without it being seen as stolen is actually pretty low still. So it's definitely better with certain things, you know, if you steal shit or pick things up off of certain people on the ground when you loot them, to sell it in other areas, because less likely for people to be like, you stole that, what the hell? You know, also I was kind of tempted to maybe bring my laptop out here, play a little Kenshi, but now I'm really definitely wanting to. Always sell stolen loot to Thieves Guild. Yeah, I need to find them, because I know there's like a HQ for them in the hub, but when I went there with my current gameplay, the hub is abandoned. There's like literally nobody there. So I don't know where the Thieves Guild is besides there. I know they are in other towns. I just need to find out what other towns they're in. Because eventually, honestly, considering that... Hey, what? Shut up! I mean, honestly, considering that the hub is, at least in my current gameplay, is abandoned, I'm thinking I could maybe build a settlement not too far away from the border zone, and just buy all the buildings in the hub and just rebuild that town. Because, I mean, I know it's possible to essentially create cities, or, even though the game can start getting a little wonky at that point, and you can also essentially, like, take over your own towns. So I'm kind of thinking that would be kind of, you know, something I want to do. Because at that point, I could probably start proving my worth to the anti-slavers, because if I have, like, an actual base set up, then I can actually start grinding supplies, start making supplies, start selling it, you know, start getting mercenary guards, and, you know, and start getting groups together, and actually using that as a way to start, you know, pushing against the United Cities, and thus be able to ally to anti-slavers a little bit. Because if you are somewhat, if they don't like you, there's a way to prove your worth, even if you're like allied or start off friendly with the United Cities, and that's basically kill or imprison this dude named Longan, which is like a noble who's also the head of the Traders Guild, from what I understand, or also kill or imprison one of the nobles of the town in Hank, which if you're the wandering trader, that's where you start off in. So, that's kind of my idea. Like, I want to, like, siege Hang and fucking, like, you know, just, you know, like, do, like, a liberate, you know, like a slave liberation attempt at... My god. But before I do that, I want to take out some of the slave farms and shit that are near the area that are surrounding the town. So, and those will be a lot easier to target. So that's kind of like my, you know, I have like a long-term idea of my current character. But I'm thinking I might do a second throwaway gameplay right now just to do strictly for base building, just so I can kind of learn how to do that before I actually really do try to do that. So I think I might do that. Like for the next day or two, maybe set up like a separate, you know, save where I just kind of fool around with the base building mechanics and just kind of see how that works a little bit. And then with my current gameplay, go back to that and, then actually set it up. Luckily, I have a lot of blueprints for different buildings and equipment and shit like that. So once I actually do get like the first thing set up, like it'll be pretty quick, for me to get everything else going. I pretty much have like the beginnings of setting up a pretty decent like fort at this rate, let alone like just a basic little camp. I like to pretend I'm growing cannabis, selling it. Well, it's called hemp in the game, isn't it? Like, I mean, you can grow hemp farms, so I mean, you pretty much are growing weed. You're growing Kenshi weed. But yeah, I definitely want to learn how to do that. I want to learn some of the farming mechanics, which look like they're fairly easy. Base building could be a little wonky. I recommend practicing it before you commit to it on your main character save use of. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm thinking about doing at least like kind of a throwaway gameplay with, strictly just to do some basic base building shit. Not really focus on any other mechanics, just the base building part, and just, learn that a little bit. Because that's pretty much, at this point, the only real part about the game I haven't really figured out yet is, like, automating jobs and settlement building and stuff like that. So, once I kind of get all that going, I pretty much will have the basic mechanics of the game down at that point, because I've figured out everything else about it, pretty much. At that point, it's just, exploring the game and learning more about it and how it works as I, play more of it. At least when it comes to the world. Because I know way up in the Northwest, there's, like, the cannibals and shit like that, which, where my character is, I'm way out in the Southeast, so it's like if I want, I can make pilgrimages into certain areas if I wanted to, but be very risque. Walls and turrets are your friends once you know how to make them. I think I have blueprints for some turrets and walls, but I could be wrong. I know I have a bunch of blueprints that I know are for base building type of stuff and like furniture and shit. I imagine I have at least some stuff like that. We'll funnel them into turret kill boxes. Yep. I'm thinking, especially the area that I want to settle in, especially considering it's, pretty farmable and also has decent iron and copper. On top of that, wildlife isn't really that big of a problem, and not really many bandits either. And also there's like this smuggler's bar that's not too far away where you can sell stolen goods and shit like that too. And also have unique hireables for characters. So, honestly the area that I want to settle in is actually a pretty decent spot. And from every base building guide I've looked up, nobody's mentioned it. And actually I do have... I actually have on my phone a tab on the side set up for Kenshi map, just straight up. Here, let me find it. There it is. Honestly, this is going to be a lot better. Here, let me... Oh god, there's so much random shit. Let me do this. I'm gonna just do that. Okay. This makes it at least easier to look at. Okay, here we go. Before you set up a decent base, you'll start to attract bandits like a city does. I'm sure. You'll need dedicated guard characters if you don't want your stuff stolen trash. Well, yeah, obviously. Well, what the fuck? Sniper Valley? I never even heard of this. Is the zone in the southeast corner of the continent near Ashlands. Sniper bots? Sniper bots? Oh god, what the fuck are those? Ah, no. Okay, fuck. You know what? I'll just do this. Here we go. Okay, this is easier. So okay, so my current character is literally at the bottom of this mountain right here, in this little valley area. And this is Spring, where the anti-slavers are at. This city. Which is literally on the top of the fucking mountain. It's literally at the very top. And there's like this tiny little path that you can get up there with. So I'm like at the bottom of this. Over here are a bunch of fucking hivers. Like, deadly wildlife is everywhere here. But right here is where it's a little more safer at Flats Lagoon. And here's the town, which is also called Flats Lagoon. And if you were to go just a little bit up this way to Shem, this area is actually pretty legit. like all up through here. Like the Shem area, because there's like a nomadic settlement with nomads here where you can buy some animals and sell some stuff. And this entire area does not have any bandits, really. There's not a lot of wildlife in this area. Like, this area right here is actually pretty legit. And the smuggler's bar is in this area right up here. You know, in this general region. I think specifically kind of like up in this little area right here. So it's just like, this spot right here is actually pretty legit. And it's not too far away from the border zone where the hub and Squin. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's near some places to where, you know, you can trade, and at the same time you got Flats Lagoon, and, you know, so it's actually near some pretty decent areas to where you can actually go to, and, you know, like haul some loot and sell some stuff, and, you know, and all that shit. And with a nomadic settlement nearby, you can also get animals, you know, for, like, guard animals and shit, because honestly, my pack bull is such a fucking beast. That thing, like, what I've noticed is that my pack bull that I started off with, being a wandering trader, is actually a really good friend to have. Those pack bulls do a lot of damage to enemies because they're basically, well, they're bulls with horns on front of them. I mean, you could think about how they act if you've seen bison, moose, bulls, you know, charging people. I mean, so it's like there will be some people that I would get that would just get murked by my pack bull, and their limbs would be severed. They would literally be bleeding out. They would be like in critical condition. Like, they would just be fucked up. So it's like, honestly, having a whole like if I build a settlement, I'm having a few of my guards legit just be pack bulls. Just be bulls that, you know, if you, like, start coming at me, they're going to start just charging you and just running you down and stomping you. Are nice to robots and have the equipment in their settlements to make new limbs for those without, and repair bots. Yeah, from my understanding, there is a way for hivers to not be hostile to you if you happen to be in their area. I'm just not 100% sure what that is quite yet. I wonder if having some hivers in my party would actually help out with that. Because if they see other hivers, they'll be like, oh, fellow hivers. But they're all kind of like, very like, collective-wise, you know, like, you know, especially when it comes to being insect in a sense. Kind of like ants or wasps. So, I don't know if they would actually act like that, though. See, I mean, there's still some stuff I need to learn about the game. But at this point, it's more about, like, you know, what, you know, like, characters or what, like, certain races and, you know, do, what factions do and shit like that at this point, more so than mechanics. Honestly, one faction I definitely want to kind of fuck with in Kenshi is the Holy Empire, or whatever it's called. Because, oh my god, they are certainly a weird group of people. But they honestly have a very excellent place of where their faction is. And whilst building settlements in their area is probably good, like, I don't want to deal with their fucking culture. Like, you know what I mean? Especially being so theocratic. Honestly, that's why I want to go to Shem, because that has a lot of the similar attributes to, yeah, to the, same, like, valleys and same, lands that the Holy Empire have and shit. But, despite that, you know, you don't have to deal with having a holy book and deal with their stupid shit on Sundays and all this other garbage. Frankly, they're not as big in comparison to, like, the United Cities, so I'm thinking, you know, just to kind of train up my shit, I might kind of fuck with them a little bit. Because the United Cities isn't, like, I'm neutral with them, but because I'm friendly with the Traders Guild, they're a little bit more likely to probably help me out. Oh, that also reminds me, because I am in the Traders Guild, I do know that if you set up a town and shit, especially like a little shop, people of the Traders Guild will actually come trade with you. That'd actually be kind of a benefit, because you get a little extra, you know, benefit from that, from what I understand. You look so cute. Oh, you're just so cute. What is this random community post? Would you rather climb a snow-covered mountain or walk a heat-scorched desert? A snow-covered mountain. I'd rather climb that shit. I mean, I've done that, honestly. I mean, I've gone snowboarding and shit up at Timberline Mount Hood Meadows a bunch of times before, and there's been times where I've had to kind of climb up those fucking mountains to deal with my shit. There's been times where I've flopped and fallen and failed and, you know, would, like, you know, have, you know, some mishaps, and I have to get the board off me, carry that, and climb up the side of this fucking mountain for, like, a couple feet or 10 feet or how far much, get back on the actual trail, hook my shit up, and then go back down. And that, you know, requires way more energy than just simply going down the fucking trail, you know, cruising down your board. So I'd be sitting there for a minute like, ugh, fuck. See a new Cinema for Cynics video on Gandalf? Yeah. And I kind of agree with Paul, honestly. Gandalf a little bit of an idiot. I actually have a friend who's very seriously into the Lord of the Rings and shit. So I'm honestly kind of curious about, you know, what he would say, you know, about his synopsis of that. Oh, he's so cute. He's just a cute little ball. You writable things are on Tubio. Actually, I like the Shadow Mordor games because they explain why Sauron didn't try to take over sooner. I haven't played it. Or I haven't played the Shadow Mordor games, so I wouldn't know too much about them. It's seen on Steam, like, recommended to me for, like, forever, though. So at some point I should, you know, just straight up fucking, you know, buy it at some point. He was busy fighting the Civil War. Ah. Oh, look at Zoro. God, this fucking little freak. Well, fine. Evidently someone's not photogenic today. Bye. Oh, bye. Give it a little stretch. Alright. You stretch. Who's a good boy? Yes. Who's a good boy? Yes. Yes, sweet boy. Who is a sweet boy? Yes. Oh, yes. They're based Assassin's Creed Florida Ring skin on them, but they were fun and combat was challenging but not impossible. Nice. Here, buddy. I'll let you have a little tweet. There you go. Plus, I love mind control and leading an orc army. Well, yeah, that obviously would be pretty fun. What the hell? Fosh reacts to the LARP con he wishes he could have gone to? What? What in the fuck is this?
Ukraine. We have been hammered home.
Oh my god, what in the fuck is this? What is going on here? What is this? What is this? What is going on here? What is going on here?
Stuff about decolonization and the stuff about critiquing white people or whatever and Europeans. Here you have
Europeans. Interesting.
The revival of neo-Nazism basically against Russia. And it's not simply an irony. We should draw a fundamental conclusion from this. And for me, that conclusion is that the so-called...
Wow, he's so...
I can't get over this fucking head statue. Like, what is this? Like, who's that supposed to be? It, like, vaguely looks like Abe Lincoln. Is that supposed to be, like, Lincoln or something? Like, who's that? Who's, like, the statue head bust thing supposed to be of? Like, it vaguely looks like Lincoln. I'm wondering, is that supposed to be, like, Lincoln or something?
He'd be trying to, like, LARP as a revolutionary leader right now, you know what I mean? He'd be like, and the people have had enough, you know, like, he'd try to, right? Like, if there's ever a time to do a big LARPy speech, this would be it, right? I guess he only has two modes, which is boring and, like, blowing out the microphone.
Support for anyone who's interested in a real initiative to oppose the status quo is going to come from people...
Oh, man, I'm feeling so won over by this guy lulling me in a sleep.
They're apolitical.
I'm more interested in the statue behind him.
Yeah, I think it's quite funny that in a speech that opens with him denouncing the Nazis in Europe, he follows it up by saying, and our only hope is allying with the right. I've said this a million times.
Wait, what? Hold on, I wasn't even paying attention.
As far as become who's interested in a real initiative to oppose the status quo is going to come from people who are either apolitical or who are right-wing. But as far as...
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
I think it's...
But you can't just say that and not elaborate. Like, if you're going to make a speech about something like that, you have to kind of elaborate what you mean by that, because I know plenty of people in my workplaces that are definitely either apolitical or kind of right-leaning and shit. But, like, that doesn't mean I'd also work with people who are, like, so right-wing they're literal fucking Nazis. Like, I wouldn't work with them. But, you know, if there's just somebody that happens to be, like, right-leaning at my workplace because they have some conservative views on some shit, I mean, it's like, yeah, I'd be fine working with them and talking with them and hashing shit out and stuff. And if you think those type of things tend to be productive. But, yeah, it's just like, this dude is also, like, boring as shit, but also, hey, dude, stop it! But this dude's also just, like, not elaborating about, like, ooh, so, you know, you just gotta, like, kind of, like, if you want to, like, you know, go against the status quo, you kind of have to, like, you know, it's happened to some people who are apolitical and kind of, you know, right, and, you know, and it's just like, you know, we gotta, like, you know, denounce this, like, you know, Nazi European stuff, and, yeah, it's just like, you're lulling me to a sleep, bro. It's like, one, you gotta have a little spunk, and two, you gotta, like, elaborate some shit here instead of just making some vague statements.
In a speech that opens with him denouncing the Nazis in Europe, he follows it up by saying, and our only hope is allying with the right. I've said this a million times. This whole Nas bullshit has just been a project to get stupid, disaffected left-leaning people to join with the conservatives on the far right. I've said this a million times over.
It honestly really tends to be. It's just like, that's what I find kind of silly about, like, I mean, it's like, not all of them necessarily call themselves assholes, but there are just, you know, lefties that will just be okay with working with populist right-leaning people, which frankly are just either, like, fascist enablers or fascistic themselves, you know, when it comes to their populism. So it's just like when they, you know, end up working with these type of people, they're being used more so as pawns. Dude, oh my god. Shut up! The fuck is your deal? Stop it! Oh my god, there's like, dude. Urgh. God, what a goofball. See the golf game last night? No, I hate golf. It was crazy. Someone kept hitting their ball into the sand. I mean, essentially just what's happening. It's just like, I mean, if you're just going to be willing to work with, quote, faux populist set of people who are legitimately, like, disenfranchised with the system and, are, well, I mean, I guess, a lot of fascists tend to be as well, but are actually, willing to, like, listen, hear the other side, and also are willing to talk out and aren't, falling into the rabbit hole of, this, mass propaganda shit. And even if they are, it's like, it's at least worth trying to get them out of that type of sense. Like, because at least for me, like, when it comes to tapping into people who are apolitical right wing, it's not, just for the sake of doing it. It's to get them, more politically active and more, away from those right-leaning ideas and get them more open to left perspectives on things. Or at least just more open to a more just generally progressive left overall, even if not just full on. Because, I mean, that's kind of, at least, for me, the whole point of trying to, work with those type of people that might be in your community or your workplace and shit. Does that mean working with fucking, like, Christian fascists and Nazis? Of course not. Fuck those people. They will use you as a fucking pawn. But if you got, like, some, random conservative-leaning type of dude at your workplace or some shit, there's no reason to just outright dismiss them. If anything, tapping in, to them a little bit, especially when it comes to a bridge, like, a workplace or being within, like, the same neighborhood or some shit like that, gives you a little bit of an opportunity to, bridge, potential gaps that you don't necessarily have on places like on the internet, on online sphere and shit. So, I mean, if anything, it can play a role, and I do think it can be important, but you can't just work with apolitical people or right-wing people and just expect things to work out. Like, I mean, that's just not how it works.
Trying to see that, it's sort of been, it's sort of coalesced, like the vortex is closing a little bit, and now they're just explicitly, like, far right,
The parasites on the working people of this country.
Parasites on the working people. I wonder what language the Strasserites used back in the 1930s in Germany. Makes you wonder. And yeah, apparently...
I mean, I do tend to think a lot of the owner class and the rich CEOs and the lead, the politicians tend to be parasites, but considering the overall dude's speech, I'm not exactly 100% too sure that guy, whoever was making that speech behind the weird socialist aesthetic Abraham Lincoln bust head thing... I still can't get over that. I don't know, like, why. Why is that, like, why is it in the shape of Abe Lincoln? Like, what does he have to do with any of their thing? Like, it'd make more sense if it was, like, Marx or something, but they have Lincoln. It's like, what? I don't get that.
Here, that's cute.
You have the Jabba, not to spoil the mood by mentioning Jabba the Vosh. He talks about the so-called Nazgul vortex, clearly evoking.
Wait! Oh my God! So they're actually literally, oh God.
Idea that leftists are people.
Can I just say it's very?
How much you want to bet like half the people in this room don't know or give a fuck about who Vosh is? And you got this dork on this fucking podium talking about, oh my dude, wow, this actually is cringe. Jesus Christ. It was just kind of weird at first. I'm like, okay, it's a little like it's cliche and like definitely LARPy, but oh my God, that right there was kind of the take.
Full of people who I probably don't know. I can be name dropped without any clarification, as though I'm like a politician who suspected everyone knows. I gotta say, I'm very flattered by that. He can't.
I mean, I kind of would too. He's just like, yeah, and just people like Vosh out there, and half of the people are like, who? Who? Okay, I guess someone we don't like. All right.
Like, there's this live streamer who talks about the Nazgul vortex a lot, and like he just gets to say it. I like that. Oh yeah, here we go. From the Wikipedia page.
And they're all like, I wonder who this Vosh is, and they search them up, become leftists. Or elftists. Elftists. I kind of like that, too. It's like they become, like, elven leftists, the elftists.
Like, talking points and ideology and stuff. About how Nazis would talk about, like, the good, honest, hard-working German workers and the parasites. Which, of course, they meant, Jews. Now,
I thought Nazguls is just a meme. Nah, it's kind of an actual political ideology. It's basically, I mean, it's essentially just like either lefties that work with people who are on the right or lefties who are very socially conservative. Which, like, it doesn't make sense, but it's a thing.
Jews when he says parasites?
They're just basically, like, either fascists or Nazis that just like a lot of the leftist economics and shit, but don't want to actually do that for everybody. They just want that for their group.
Which can include some Jews, but I assume he mostly means, like, queer people, you know, and people who are actually leftists. There are probably a lot of... He talks about George Soros a lot. He might just mean Jews. I don't know. Jews and queers, you know? It's a wide net. He's very inclusive. Here we go. We have Burger King himself.
Oh,
with
God.
Just some audio, I suppose.
Oh, no. This is Malpin.
And the USA meddled in the 1996 elections.
Oh, I honestly thought it was an actual, like, clip of it, too. It's just an audio.
Sure,
Damn.
I
thought he was just holding an half-eaten burger while talking about this.
Neoliberal economics. Directed, of course, by George Soros. But things in
Oh, my God. Was that just, like, an Alice Jones take right there? Like... What is with people in the boogeyman of this Soros? It's like, yeah, he's like a rich fucking elite fuck, but, like, I'm pretty sure there's worse names than him. Like, what makes him so exceptionally special of a boogeyman? Like, seriously, like, what? Because he happens to, like, just donate more to the DNC and Democratic Party or some shit? And even then, I guarantee he doesn't do just that. Like, oh my... I don't understand the absolute hate boner for specifically that motherfucker. It's like, can't there just be egalitarian hate boner for all people like that motherfucker? Like, you know, from the Soroses to the fucking Bezoses to the... Like, can't it just be all equal? Like, why just hate one? It's like, just be very, like, exceptionally conspiratorial about one. It's like, what? I don't get it. Why? What's the... I really, truly don't understand the hate boner about it. Where, I guess George Soros secretly just runs everything somehow. Wow, it took me a second to actually fucking say secretly. Wow. This banana looks fine to me, but maybe keep it away from TJ. I think there's something wrong with your banana. Oh, you want that? Oh, yeah, here. Yeah, stand up. There you go. Yeah, I think there is something wrong with that banana. That indeed is not a banana. It's a Chiquita snake.
Dude, I'm so glad George Soros exists because it's such an easy fucking Nazi like radar for everyone else. It's literally just a JQ. So just so you guys know, like, George Soros is a relatively politically active billionaire. Like, he's on the Democrat side. He's, I guess, relatively progressive. But, like, the progressivism of George Soros is like Hillary Clinton tier progressivism. And he's not the only billionaire that does this. There are hundreds...
And frankly, I wouldn't even really call that progressivism. That's just being charitable.
...of billionaires who... In fact, pretty much every person as wealthy as a billionaire is going to be
what is this deal?
Political campaigns. Like, so
dude,
focus on anyone. The choice to hyperfixate on Soros is because they are Nazis. It is explicitly to draw conspiratorial, affect from, the fact that he is a known Jewish billionaire. The funny thing is, there are other...
I mean, that's why I say, well, just shut the fuck up! What the... Why? Can you explain your rebellion? Anyway, it's kind of why I was like, I wonder why, it's just like... that type of shit is, when it comes to the whole Soros meme thing. But it's just like, it's kind of obviously given, because really the only explanation in my mind was like, yeah, because the Nazis use it as a dog whistle. That's literally the only thing that was in my head when it came to that. And of course, that's because, frankly, it's mainly the one reason why he's always fucking mentioned.
Right? Like, there's not just one. They focus on Soros for the name recognition. That's it. That's the only reason why. It's literally just like he's the easy go-to. George Soros has as much to do with this as 1,000 other people.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. They're at, no, this is getting worse. They're clapping.
Okay.
Alright, wow, this is making me really want to just, like, crawl back in my bed and not go to work today. This is making me want to crawl in bed. This ain't making me revolutionary, this is making me, like, want to devolve into my bed.
In this room.
I just want to morph into the caterpillar of my blanket.
$800 a ticket, because there's no other way. Jesus, it's so fucking white in here. Yeah, you think? Yeah, we see. I know whoever filmed this was a fan of mine because while filming this incredibly embarrassing shit, they zoom in on Burger King and Peter Coffin. You know? Are they not? Oh damn! I'm almost disappointed. Well, maybe they just edited it. That is so funny. This is like the highlight of their lives. Jesus.
What? This. Doesn't this weird thing they're doing here, this little ritual, look just more nationalistic than anything? It's like, yeah, we're gonna, look like we're marching for our flags as the flag bearers with, some glorious song of the Soviet anthem, yes. It's like, I mean, it's basically just like American nationalism with a left aesthetic. Like, that's kind of what I'm seeing here, basically. And cringe. Just gross.
Dorky, dude. Holy shit. Oz is dating Samira Khan. Oh, based. Isn't that good? That's like canceling each other out. Yeah, Peter Coffin, I think, was on the invite list. Was it?
I didn't actually kiss her baby.
Is that Samira? I don't actually know what Samira looks like. I just see her little, like, Abby. Like the little picture, but I've never, like, clicked or zoomed in or anything. Is this her? That's her? Okay.
Taller than me. So.
Who?
How tall are you?
5'5".
5'4". Stand up. I'll prove it.
No, don't do that.
Why? It'll go viral.
No. Why are you trying to, like,
Shut up!
purposely create negative
Purposely create negative content? What?
I can't believe this is real. I can't.
He's trying to basically make her stand up so he can stand up and see who's taller. Like, and she's like, no, you're gonna make bad content. Oh my god. Why do streamers do this shit? Like, even I wouldn't be doing this. They're like, oh my god.
Difficult, you know. I will give credit though. This is an undefeatable debate strategy on the part of Haas over here.
So come on.
Okay, but he's acting right. I don't think so. This is very funny when juxtaposed against how much alpha male posturing he does on his stream. Yeah, he's like thinking of Destiny right now. It's crazy. Dude, the reason why I didn't show up to that thing to debate Haas in person is because if he compared his height next to me, he would have killed himself the next day and I would have felt bad. Like, Jesus. Like, it's like, fuck, I have to stay away from him now, because I feel like, yeah, like, it's like, I didn't realize this bothered him so much. God. I'm glad they're together, you know, it's good.
Can I? Let's do it.
No, shut up.
Why not?
No, I don't want to. I'm too obedient, remember?
Is this what heterosexuals look like while they flirt? Is this what the current meta is?
Yes.
I can't do this, man. No, it's cringe, zero chemistry.
And I can't tell if she was joking when she said, no, I can't do that. I hope she was just joking.
You know why there's zero chemistry? It's because Haas is so insecure that he can't help but look to the camera time and time again, probably to look at chat. He's looking for chat reactions, and he's looking to frame his face in an attractive angle. That's why. Look over and over again at him. Samira is actually behaving fairly naturally, to her credit, you know.
You're taller. Right?
Look at chat.
Hug her.
Look at chat.
Hug me.
Weird, you know, Jaden Smith forehead thing.
Ew.
He
See?
doesn't
Cat?
hug girls.
I only hug men.
Lean the camera in for the men, because he's trying to, like, emphasize it.
Girls.
I only hug men.
I only hug some men, bro. That's it, man.
Let's do it.
No,
Like,
shut up.
why not?
No.
I don't hug men, bro. I don't hug men.
I'm too
This guy is really, like... Why do I feel like he's, like extruding some of that, like, weird, like... fucking, like, almost, like, Nick Fuentes, like, and it's just like... nah, I don't like, girls got kind of cooties a little bit. I mean, he's at least a few steps ahead because he's at least willing to interact with a woman and literally be next to one, unlike Nick Fuentes, who wouldn't even be a mile near one at all. So, I mean, he's at least some rungs ahead, but there's, like, I just can't help but just feel that, like, energy a little bit. It's like, what is going, like, this feels like almost like weird elementary school shit. Like, what, like, I'm actually aware of this guy, Haas, but, like, this, he really does extrude, like, this hyper, like, masculine type of energy shit a little bit, and it's like, bruh, like, what are you compensating for, dude?
In this conversation, if he wasn't constantly trying to look at chat. You know what I'm talking about, right? This image really broke Haas's brain. Oh, wait, where's the clip of him and Destiny doing the hide-off and him going like, it's even...
Nick Fuentes eats boogers and cowboy ass.
There we go.
One of those things is okay.
We'll just let the chat decide.
The funniest part is definitely the chat.
Oh my god, Destiny is actually legit like an inch taller than him. Is that it? Is it because he's on... Oh my god.
This?
Is it because he's short?
Okay. Literally the same.
Nah, they're like... Destiny's like barely like an inch taller.
Okay. Are we good? Yeah, I think you're good. Okay. There you go. Just literally the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Literally the same.
I'm pretty sure there was at least a half an inch.
So I can continue to be a good and consistent role model here. I just want to remind you guys that we're not making fun of Haas for being short. We're making fun of him for being short and insecure. Fuck. I should have gone for this. No.
I like it's like, no, we're not making fun for being short. We're making fun for being short and insecure. I like the bluntness of Vaj sometimes. Oh, what con was this? What was even the name of it? Does it even say in here? No? Does it say anywhere in here at all? Like, like anywhere? No? Conference site. Nothing about the name. And there's a random little fucking bot comment. Okay, great. Wow. I kind of want to know what it is. I want to actually kind of like see more of it now. Because it's like, oh my god. It just looks, it just looks cringy. I mean, probably not as cringy as like some America First shit. It just looks more like sad cringe more than just like comically absurd cringe. Man, well, honestly, what's more LARPy? Like, fucking like Nick Fuentes type of fucks, doing their weird LARP shit, or like those weirdos doing their shit. Both are hella LARPy as fuck. Honestly, I feel like that shit was probably more LARPy, because at least like with the weird Nick Fuentes types, they're not doing it to LARP, they're doing it because they're trying to actually be genuine about it. I mean, so it's not really a role play for them. So I think that's why. Like, for a lot of those dorks that we were just looking at, that just seems a lot like a legitimate like LARP shit going on there. That flag shit, like, no, it's like, what the fuck is going? Like, what is this? Like some like CPAC shit with like some left shit going on? Like, what? Gross. Like, ew. Ugh. I like, wow. I didn't know I needed that to just like rest on my soul. Oh, my god. Man, no wonder we can't get shit done in this country. Like, there's a fragment of people that are just busy doing weird shit like that, I guess. Instead of things that are kind of worth a fuck, I guess. Yeah, alright, yeah, we're going for the pooper, aren't we? Yep, see that house right there? We're just going right through that. We're going right through that outhouse, and there ain't no come back. Oh, sweet Jesus. Private libertarian paramilitary groups patrolling Portland. Oh, this pertains to me. Oh, gee. I feel a little more vindicated for making sure that I can have things to defend myself with. Yay!
So you had another caller, I think on a Thursday, call in and talk about sort of the libertarian haven that has sort of sprung up in the downtown Portland kind of nightlife area.
Libertarian.
I don't remember this, but go on.
Sure. So For context, as part of the large amount of kind of George Floyd protests and defund the police related protests that happened in Portland, some of the city council members sort of, I don't want to say gave in, but
they gave in.
Answered some of the demands and concerns from the protesters by actually reallocating money away from the Portland police.
Not 100%. Like, what really happens is what essentially is they shuffled money around. They reshuffled a lot of different transit security funds and a lot of different funds within the PPB in the Portland Police Bureau, but never actually did a lot of true defunding. If anything, there was actually some budget increases in certain areas. And
as a result, some of the patrols in kind of the nightlife area in downtown Portland were significantly reduced. And in response to that, a coalition of sort of bar and nightclub owners started hiring their own paramilitary private security groups.
Oh, God.
To start patrolling the streets to replace these Portland police patrols that had been taken away. And there was a really good article put out by, I believe, Willamette Week about it.
The Willamette Weekly is actually the name of it.
Where they literally quoted
it's a free paper you can pick up around here.
Paramilitary guys after being asked why they had gone into security rather than like actually joining the Portland police. He said, "I'd rather die with my boots on than get old and die in a retirement home with my pension."
What?
These are the types of people that are now patrolling the streets and monitoring the kind of the inebriated and like drunk population of the nightlife.
Oh, are these the same libertarians all for personal choice? Oh, I guarantee it. Oh, you want to know something interesting as well? There happens to be an increase of gun violence and gang violence that's been rising in the city because of, you know, the Portland police literally not doing their fucking jobs, because essentially what they're doing is because people, you know, have been bitching about them and complaining and protesting about them from the past 2 years. They essentially decided to do their own version of a strike and are just not doing their jobs. Like, it's specifically called slowdown, and what they're doing is essentially is that, yeah, they're working, but they're not working. They're just sitting on their ass doing fuck all, if anything, fucking around and, you know, doing the most barest of fucking minimal, you know, to, you know, do their job, and that's it. Like, they're purposely are not doing anything and just letting things get worse, and essentially letting fucking vigilantes, you know, take care of shit. This is the fucking case of the end result of what happens. And, yeah, fucking frankly, a bunch of far-right fascist motherfuckers who call themselves libertarians patrol my fucking streets in the city and shit doesn't exactly make me too king, you know, or too safe, especially when I'm unarmed. Have you ever met a black libertarian? I haven't. I suspect there's few and far in between. Not that I can think of, but I'm sure I probably have without really knowing that they are actually, like, libertarians, so to speak, but yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Downtown Portland.
Wow. And that's still going on, essentially?
And that's still going on, and it kind of highlights a microcosm of what I feel like is a problem nationally with sort of democratic politics, in that the money that was reallocated away from the Portland police was actually funneled towards addressing some of the homelessness issues that are going on in Portland as well. But because of the, which was the intent that kind of the more progressive wing of the city council was pushing for.
Which is literally just Joanne Hardesty, by the way. There's not really much of a progressive wing besides her. Honestly.
This is the more kind of moderate neo-lib faction that really is strong within the business-backed community here in Portland. They had to make some... they had to reallocate the money towards the homelessness problems, towards organizations that they didn't really want to. And the result has been Ted Wheeler really going towards like camp sweeps and relocation and like anti-camping like infrastructure, like putting like big boulders and rocks and planting like rose bushes and like thorny type of things where people would camp.
Pretty much like any form of anti-homeless infrastructure, which that's essentially is a lot of the solution. Everything he's saying is 100% spot on. Like what the fuck is city council or what Ted Wheeler, this worthless little neo-lib fascist enabling little fuck, does is that instead of actually accommodating problems when it comes to the growing homeless crisis going on here, he'd rather just fucking instill more anti-homeless policies and anti-homeless infrastructure. And one of the very few things that police will do and shit is basically just do these fucking camp sweeps, especially in specific areas that happen to have some events going on. There was, just before the Blues Fest, massive fucking sweeps all through the waterfront and through the area surrounding the Blues Fest, because we don't want tourists seeing the peasantry rabble, and so instead of actually housing them like decent people, let's just, get some brooms and push brooms and just brush them off, a couple blocks down. Like, this essentially is like, what the fuck they did. And, and it's just like, that's just a continuous policy. It's just a reciprocal cycle of, just doing anti-homeless infrastructure build-up, pushing people out, and then having them, move to another area, build up the fucking anti-homeless structure in those areas up, and then just, repeat the fucking cycle, which doesn't really do anything in the first place because it just condenses homeless more into the actual streets and into alleyways more so than, places to where they can probably be more hidden off and not so right out in the open, and thus makes things more unsafe. Like, it's not because, those homeless people just by proxy make things unsafe, but due to a lot of factors like drug abuse, mental health problems, a lot of factors that they don't really have 100% control over, it's gonna, just because of that, make things a little bit more unsafe. Well, not really just a little bit, but it's not, the people of the homeless fault. It's the fault of the fucking city for not actually properly fucking addressing it. And it's not like we don't have the means or the abilities to do so. We do. We 100% have the ability, the funds, and even to some degree, some infrastructure to be able to actually fucking deal with this shit. But, nah. The fucking liberal fascist enabling city council literally does fucking nothing.
Using that reallocated money towards those things, which are actually making the problem worse, and not towards things like housing and healthcare and things that would actually address the problem.
Someone named Geek Wonk just wrote in saying, I really need to clarify that we did not reallocate any police money in Portland. The police have simply gone on strike for the last 2 years. This Portlander has no idea what he's saying. They literally just shuffled funding around for transit policing and stuff like that.
I mean, both are, all of it's right.
Yeah.
The guy on the phone knows what he's talking about, but yeah, it was more accurate to say that, they were reshuffling shit, and the cops just aren't doing their fucking jobs. That's what was more accurate.
Shuffled money around.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Drew, thanks for keeping us updated on this, and let us know if there's anything else in the future, all right?
Sure.
Have a good one, man. Bye.
You know, I don't want to make light of the situation there, but like, you know, if this were 15 years ago, there'd be a reality TV show about that. That had like 2 seasons called like Bar Patrol or something.
Yeah.
That had like 2 seasons and it aired on like Spike TV or some shit. And like if
he's so true, dude. Dude, 100%. Dude. Oh, absolutely.
15 years in the future, like where we are now, you would know exactly why it got canceled. Because it was episode after episode documenting crimes.
It's not the reason why cops and Life PD kind of got taken down and shit, because in a lot of cases it was basically just cops just openly committing crimes.
It would be some sort of like offshoot from Bar Rescue.
I was just gonna say John Tapper hosting the cop. Oh, yes.
Dude, it would be John Tapper hosting Bar Patrol if that was the thing, dude. Oh, he would be. Oh my, dude, it pretty much like at least like half of the first season would basically just be Portland alone. Like, I guarantee it. I mean, if it was done today, pretty much it would just be like, there would be an offshoot season called Bar Patrol Portland. Like, there just, especially today, if it was like an actual thing. Oh, 100%. And it would just absolutely feed into this whole fucking like narrative about like, oh, Portland is rabble roused, gone to shit because it's anti-for commies or whatever the fuck. Well, fun fact, 90% of the Portland Police Bureau doesn't even live in Portland, like, when it comes to the officers. And I guarantee you a lot of those fucking paramilitary groups also are the same way. They don't live here. And yet they think they got the right to just fucking, you know, be armed and patrol our fucking streets and shit. It's like, go do that in your own neighborhood, motherfucker. Like, I would have more of a right than you to do that shit, and even I, wouldn't be doing that. So it's like, get bent and fuck off. But no, you want to, come here and cause trouble and start shit and harass people. At least you're all sleepy now. Ooh. Fucking dork. But that's all. That's part of the reason why kind of, feel myself, like kind of needs to be time a little. I didn't make a service to reality too, so we need to bring it back to Rob, but they were never here to begin with. I mean, it just kind of. I mean, you just kind of have to like. It's like catch the fishing line, or cast the fishing net out and see what gets caught. Like, honestly, that's really just like what you got to do. Honestly, it's like, because like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were in here for it, but like when it comes to at least like talking to people who might be political or even conservative leaning and shit, like if there's like people in your own local community or within like your workplace that happen to have those type of views, because I definitely know people that are like that. I mean, then, there's at least, bridges, that can be, built on the commonalities and thus, be able to potentially, change your perspective on things, because of that. So, I mean, there's no real, like, easy answer for it. It's just, you got to kind of catch the fishing line out there and just, like, see what sticks. See what catches the hook. And of course, like a fish, when it comes to casting that hook, to bring it back in, you have to, there's going to be a fight back and forth. There's going to be a pull. Every now and then they're going to resist, but, eventually get tired out. And then once you catch them, then you can release them back out there, a different fish. A better fish. A more hardened fish. Thought I was going to say you get to catch it and eat it, but no. Catch and release, boy. Catch and release. What are you doing? What are you doing? Were you waiting for this? A belly rub? Oh. Goof. You know what? Where's the brush? I had your brush in here somewhere. I'll do you one better. Hey! Bring that belly back. Yeah. Yeah, you love that, don't you? Yeah. Belly brushes. Look at that little leg. Yeah, you love belly brushes, don't you? Yes, you do. Oh my goodness, you fucking freak. I created a delicious new combo mac and cheese with bacon bits in it. You just discovered that? Bro, when I started my stream last night, before I started it, I ate that. I ate mac and cheese with bacon bits in it. With a little bit of breadcrumbs on top of it too, and some, or toast crumbs, and then, a little bit of salt, pepper, a little, minced garlic on top of that too with it. Oh, dude, that's a banger, dude. You just discovered that? Oh my, dude, that's like that and tuna. Like mac and cheese and tuna is actually really good together. It's probably just so hard not to get angry at blatant dishonesty, which if you watch full interview of Kyle and Corin, a lot of people are giving shit on Kyle for not going harder on him for when it came to trans issues. I honestly think, I honestly tend to agree, really. I really wish Kyle was a little harder and kind of pressed, a little bit about Jordan's just blatant, just dead naming and misgendering and shit, because that was, for me personally, pissing me the fuck off. It's like, how, can you just call him on that, please? Even if he just keeps doing it, can you at least just say something about that? If he had Jordan, he probably would. If he had Jordan, probably would have shut down and ended the interview, because for all the talking to less snowflakes, they have very easy buttons to press. I mean, yeah, honestly, it's just that's kind of the main reason why, and it's kind of why I kind of admire that he bit his tongue a bit, but it's just I mean, honestly, in a way, it made a lot of Jordan Peterson's own, subreddit and his own fans kind of turn on him a little bit. Which, in that case, is also tends to be a good opportunity to use that as a bridge as well. It's because you'd be like, well, you see how, these people are very wrong and just so emotional about it. It's so here, when you think there is at least, maybe a point, to the other perspective about this, and, and here's what it is, blah, 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 naturally try to, open that perspective more because of that. And if anything, especially when they see somebody that they follow and then get turned off by them being basically an emotional, moral, crusading purist fucking freak, they're essentially just going to be like, oh, well, whoa, maybe I should probably listen to your side and see what they're, saying, shit, because that's just I don't want to be associated with that, so, I mean, I don't know, I feel there's a lot of people just in general, not necessarily just left, that don't necessarily see, opportunities for, a bridge building potential to, win people over, to, to a better, a side, a better position on things. Maybe it's people do, but they just never shoot for it, or at least, try to at least, plant the seed at some point. Because even if you're not, even if you don't convince them in, that one fuck conversation, and at least having the seeds planted in there for them to sprout, is, at least something there that will help eventually win them over a little more. And sometimes it doesn't even necessarily have to be you that plants the seed, but sometimes just kind of seeing that the seed is there and just tending to it and fertilizing it a little bit and letting it, get a little stronger, growing a little bit before it sprouts all out and shit, is, part of it too. Because I definitely know people that got, seeds already planted in them, but it's just kind of about, someone kind of keeping up with that. Because if you don't, if you just plant seed and just leave it there and hope for the best, I mean, you're not exactly going to get really much out of that. You look so cute. So cute, you little ball. Your tail is the only thing that's making you not be a what are you lifting your head about? I swear if you start barking, don't even think about it. Remember how that happened with Ben Shapiro during the BBC interview? Okay, Mr. Shapiro. First question is, what is 2 plus 2? How dare you? I came here for an honest interview, not to be attacked. I'm leaving. I mean, the fucked up thing is that honestly, like, I mean, fucking Ben Shapiro and like wasn't even really the challenged. I mean, that's like the stupid thing about it. Like the motherfucker wasn't even really hardly challenged at all. It was basically just like, oh, I'm asked just basic questions where it requires, you know, some basic honest answers. But I will not do that. I'll just refuse to do that. And he's like, well, you know, it's okay. I mean, you know, like, he will follow up with his answer, you know, and shit, and just be like, well, okay, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how dare you? You are attacking me. It's like, what? It's like Andrew Neil was basically doing the most bare minimal, like it was, but somehow ended up looking like the most rational, normal human being ever. Like, he made Andrew Neil look normal and look sane. Even though he's just another conservative twit. He's just a British conservative twit. So he's more pompous. Don't worry, he's super great at debate, being someone under the age of 20. Yeah. College kids who are just like all, you know, getting their ropes in and just starting to figure out how to like do some basic debates and like, you know, conversations back and forth with people and shit like that. But of course it would be that, you know, much easier, you know, to do that with people who are, you know, just starting to, you know, get their, you know, political ropes in and shit. And casting them out there, but you know, someone who might have been around the block, probably not as easier to dismantle. You know, like, because if we remember what happened with Steven Crowder going to a fucking worker strike and shit, and basically trying to fuck on all of them for, you know, fighting for their proper wages and shit. Like, I mean, he was trying to straight up start shit, you know, with people, you know, with his haggling and aggressive fucking debate demeanor and shit, and got his fucking ass bitch slapped and curbed onto the ground. Like he, you know, probably should have, because he decided to fucking, you know, tussle somebody. So it's just like, they have to always use this type of shit of like, you know, either going at people who are just really young and nitpick, you know, people who are just not exactly that avid in, you know, politics or debating or having back and forth and shit. Or basically just like, you know, kind of get rough and toughy with people. Even then, he only shows the ones that make him look good. I bet it's sunk a school's ass. Oh, yeah. Because, like, I mean, honestly, that's the reason why they cherry pick all the ones that, you know, do probably slap his ass to the ground. Because, I mean, in a lot of ways, I mean, like, that whole change in my mind thing Steven Crowder did was kind of something that was hoisted by his own petard, because he, you know, debated one too many communists, you know, he debated one, you know, communist too many, and one of them basically just, like, kind of checked his ass, like, hardcore, and didn't take his fucking, you know, didn't fucking, take his, shit, you know, very, seriously, and actually was very comical, collected about it, you know, when going back and forth, and just didn't take the bait from Steven Crowder, and it's just like, dude, this kid's based. And just absolutely schooled his ass. Education buttons. Well, yeah, you gotta throw him in there, you know? 2:08 right now, but I'm at a point where I'm just like, did my shift start at 2 or 3? Either way, if I rounded around to 3, then I'm either 3 minutes late or just 3 minutes late. So, and if early, good shit. And if late, well, I'll just straight up be like, I honestly wasn't sure if it was 2 to 3, so I just kind of went in the middle. Oh, you know what? I know it is Sunday, but I kind of want to see when my magazines come in. Oh yeah, I can't open a multi-window. Fuck you. Shoop. The shoop. Tomorrow? Nice. Yay. It is in town, but it needs to be delivered tomorrow. Getting some more Bulgarian mags. One of them's 40 rounds and the other one's 30. So I'll have 3 30-round Bulgarian mags and then one 40-round one, which I'm definitely going to buy a couple more 40-round ones for sure. It's in a 75-round drum mag too. Even though some probably wait, hold on. Why does every person against Universal College think people who want it are only going to be interested in liberal arts degrees, even though some probably do? There are still people who want to be doctors, mechanics, teachers, shit that would consider the most important. Yeah. I mean, also, there's like a lot of colleges that will, like, you know, work when it comes to, you know, get you within a specific trade and, like, you know, all sorts of various shit outside of that. Like, there's specific universities and schools that are more specialized in certain shit, because I think for the Oregon State University, they have specialized fields in ocean biology and oceanography and shit like that, because they have like campuses basically that are in places like in Seaside and on the coast. So it's just like, I mean, some places even will specialize in certain shit. And I think for the University of Oregon, they specialize in sciences like in chemistry and shit like that. So, you know, it's like depending on what your specific specialized interests are in. I mean, there's, you know, some universities that will specialize in those specific things. My husband just shot. I need a doctor. Gee, I would love to become one. Too bad I couldn't afford it. And the bank wouldn't get me a loan to do it. Wait, what type of pull is this? Sweet or salty snacks? Sweet, salty, neither. Where's both? What the fuck? Why not both? I like sweet snacks and I also like some salty snacks. I actually have some salty snacks over here, which I actually kind of want to snack on a little bit before I go to work. Looks like these little peanut butter balls with like salted pretzel things around them. They're really good. What initially got me into these was actually this brand called H.A. Anderson's, but they were so hard to find. But after finding out my store carried these are a really good alternative because they're essentially the same thing. Alright, they are definitely really delicious. Especially the peanut butter. I don't like pretzels that much, but Honestly, I don't give a fuck. These are good. Sweet baby. Look at you being so cute. And loving your little seat. Let's see, like, one more thing I could check out on tube before busting my way off to work. Actually, I should probably get this shit on. Don't want to forget this. Oh, you're sideways. I don't need you sideways. There we go. The jingle jangle, my pins. All them pins go jingle, jangle, jangle, jingle, jangle. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is fucking ridiculous thing. I hope new management don't give a fuck about my pins. I swear, if I start getting quoted about that, I'm just gonna be like, are we serious? I'm still butthurt about like the old management getting at me on my pins is like the last week they're fucking there. It's like, are you goddamn serious? All these years of me wearing them, and the last week that they're there, they want to bitch at me about it. It's like, come on, you can't be fucking serious. And apparently it's because of the changes in dress code, which there were, but the whole thing's about pins and badges and shit like that has all stayed the same. So it's like, now they just want to bitch at me about it just because they weren't enforcing it prior. It's like if you weren't enforcing it all this time until now, it's like, no. It's like, Every day I think about, at the time Wikipedia got into a full-blown legal battle about a monkey named Naruto taking selfies. Monkey selfie copyright dispute. Between 2011 and 2018, a series of suits took place by copyright status of selfies taken by Sleebus, Kristen McCaw's, as the equipment belonged to the British nature photographer David Slater. In April 2018, the Appeals Court affirmed that the animals cannot legally hold copyrights and expressed concern to appease motivations that to promote their own interests rather than protect the legal rights of animals. I mean, it's kind of hard for an animal to hold copyrights, so yeah, I would tend to agree. I'd say, like, whoever's the closest to, whatever that ownership of that may be. So if it's like a wild animal, then I guess, the nation or the state that has jurisdiction on the land of where the animal is, I guess, would hold it. But I imagine they would probably just, use it for public interest and just keep it public. Because, I mean, why would a country fucking be like, no, you can't have it when it comes to fucking photos? I guess unless it's some shit like you'd find in Gitmo or something, then yeah, they probably would. But, if it's like, selfies of a monkey or something, I don't think anyone would care. I think it would just be, if anything, it would be like a boosted interest. Like, yeah, we're the nation that had the monkey take selfies at. So, I mean, shut up! Why? Bro, would you shut? Oh my god! No! Get over here! Cease! Cease your antics! Cease your antics! See? Look. See? Nothing. Yeah, see? Cease your antics. Look, it's like a nice cloudy day, it's temperate, and you want to freak out. Alright, door's closed, so he'll be fine. See? God damn. What, you fucking fly? Okay, it's war now, bitch. If that comes back here, it's gonna face the torch. Not saying too much too at the moment. There's actually a couple things I could probably check out here later tonight when I come back. GOP's abortion crusade by AJ Plus. Oh, there's a song react to it. Maybe I could find the original AJ Plus thing and check that out, because oh my god, the thumbnail for it looks a little disturbing. Ladies in red veils. Oh god. Very cult-ish looking. Oh, Sweet Baby Ray's. That looks a little nightmarish. I kind of want to play it, but I keep playing it over and over again, pretty much like every stream. But like that song "Taliban USA" by Jel Biafra just keeps playing in my head over and over again. Especially every time I see these fucking crazy, weird Christian fundamentalist fucks. No. Don't be all burned up. I don't need that stale leftover smoke getting in my face. Is that Cinema for Cynics video actually public yet? Because at some point I actually want to check that out. How about Gandalf? No, it isn't yet. It's still for patrons. Boo Paul. Boo. When's that being public? Because I honestly want to share that with one of my friends and see how he feels about it. Because he's such a hardcore fan about Lord of the Rings and shit. Like I really would wonder how he feels about Gandalf. Because I feel like he, would venerate him a lot. So I have a suspicion that he'd probably get butthurt about the video. But I kind of want to see his reaction. But I'm not one of those dudes that, unless I'm with them, if I'm with my friends and hanging out, then I'll share stuff. But if it comes to links and having to share the link itself, it's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I mean, I guess if it's with your friends, if you and 3 of your buddies or some shit, it's not that big of a deal. But it's kind of the principle of it. They're not Amazon or some shit, you know what I mean? So it's I wouldn't want to pirate away off of them. Let's see if I can sneak a little head. Nope. Man, you got some fucking honed in ears, dude. I cannot sneak up on you for shit. Oh, yeah, I can. Yes, you're a sweet baby. Yes, you is. Oh my god, this little face. That little face. Oh, you. This little baby. You're just not photocentric. You're just not photogenic, are you, right now? Look at you. So, Kyle. Bye-bye. Your handsome face. Oh, yes, that pretty little face. You handsome boy. Handsome boy. Oh, he's just so sweet. Just a sweet little thing. Anyway. Get this last bowl loaded up here. At least for right now. Take my ventures off into the mines. Come back out. Have a little fun routine again. Ooh, I'm gonna see if maybe can find maybe like a little movie commentary or some shit maybe I can whip up with, because I know with TJ's new video he was mentioning about Garden of the Dead or whatever the fuck, and I found it on YouTube, and in fact there's actually a few versions of it on YouTube for free, so I'm assuming it's public domain, so I'm wondering if we can get away with watching it. Because I kind of want to see how bad it is. It's like less than an hour long, so it is mercifully short, so I'm thinking, you know, might do that. Grab like a beer or two. Well, maybe 3. Just fuck on a horribly shitty zombie movie. Ooh. Why are they so cute? Can you stop being cute? This cute thing you're doing is been getting old for quite some time, and it's only going to get older as you do. Oh my god, ridiculous ball. It'll never get old. Well, I mean it will, but who says it'll stop being cute? Who says I want to give in to all that cuteness regardless? Because, of course I will. He's too damn cute for it. Too cute for his own good. Too cute for his own good. Anyway, get myself off to work and all that fun shit, so that's in the meantime. Peace out. But of course, I shall be back around for that next one, so